Captain French gets pulled over by Sergeant Skinner, and as soon as the investigation begins, Captain French says, but Sergeant Skinner refuses.
I'm not turning my camera off.
Okay.
So how does Captain French handle the rest of this DUI stop? Will he get arrested? And more importantly, if you're ever in this situation, what should you do? First of all, let's be abundantly clear. I'm a defense lawyer, so I fight against the government to protect my clients. But I don't condone DUI. The best way to avoid getting a DUI is to not drink to excess in the first place. And if you do, get an Uber. From the get-go, Captain French did not follow any of that advice. And from the very beginning, he knows he's toasted in more ways than one.
You been drinking?
The captain has already tried to cover up evidence of this alleged crime by repeatedly asking Sergeant Skinner to turn off his camera. And to the sergeant's credit, he refuses to do so. And he even states that he's going to treat everybody the same, no matter if you're the President of the United States or a gangbanger. Give him kudos for that. And now Captain French knows he's in big trouble. His job is on the line. Next, I expect him to invoke his right to remain silent and try to salvage the situation by not further incriminating himself. Sergeant Skinner asks,
how much we drink tonight, sir? How many beers?
3 or 4.
He does the exact wrong thing. If you know that you're under investigation by the police for an alleged crime that they believe you have committed, shut up. Don't talk to the police. It's a mantra you might have heard here before on this channel. Captain French knows that he's under investigation for DUI. That's why he asked Sergeant Skinner to turn off the camera in the first place. He's a captain in the police department. He knows what's happening here. Yet he continues to talk. These questions may seem like small talk, but they're key admissions if the captain gets charged with DUI. And this next question is sometimes extremely critical for the government proving that you were actually DUI.
3 or 4? How long ago was that?
Midnight.
In this case, Sergeant Skinner catches Captain French red-handed while he is driving the car and sitting behind the wheel. We all see that on the video. But if the police come upon you at the scene of a car crash and you're standing outside the vehicle, even if you seem intoxicated at the time, and even if you admit that you're the driver, they still have to prove that you did not become intoxicated after you crashed the car. That's one reason they ask you where you were drinking and when your last drink was. There are many cases, such as Folks versus Commonwealth right here in Virginia, where this exact scenario plays out. There's a wrecked car on the side of the road, the police come along, they don't know when the wreck happened, they just know when they arrive, they find somebody who admits to being the driver. Unless there's key evidence to prove that the defendant did not get drunk after driving his car, at least in Virginia, that is a complete dismissal of the DUI. It's not up to the defendant to prove when he drank. It's up to the government to prove that you were actually drunk at the actual time that you were operating your car. Your drinking timeline can also be used for retrograde extrapolation, which is where they try to use an expert toxicologist to testify that if we know your blood alcohol was a certain number when they did the breath test, we can sort of count backwards and figure out what your blood alcohol would have been at the time that you were allegedly driving. Surely Captain French knows all this. He's been around the department a long time, it seems. So why is he talking? I guess he's trying not to be a jerk to the other officer. I always encourage people, don't talk to the police, but you don't have to be a jerk about it. Captain French has forgot about that first part of not talking to the police. Sergeant Skinner proceeds with his DUI investigation.
Just stand with your feet together, hands down by your side for me. Hands down by your side, please. Look straight ahead. You see the tip of my pen, sir?
I do.
I want you to follow the tip of my pen without moving your head, okay?
This is what's called the horizontal gaze nystagmus test. Sergeant Skinner is actually doing a pretty good job of this DUI investigation by simply instructing field sobriety tests without even asking Captain French if he's willing to do them. That's how slick officers handle DUI investigations. They don't ask you to do things. They simply tell you what to do. They try to trick you into doing field sobriety tests, like you have to follow police orders, even though field sobriety tests are always optional. Captain French should know this, so will he comply? Ugh! He doesn't have to do this test. It's 100% voluntary, and it's frankly a bunch of malarkey anyway. But apparently, Captain French doesn't understand how to invoke his rights and shut up. Just like he doesn't understand he should have called an Uber. But wait, there's more. Sergeant Skinner instructs Captain French on the one-leg stand, and he even begins to attempt the test.
You may begin.
1,000.
Just keep
Sir,
going.
can you turn that off,
I cannot, sir.
please?
I know you're aware of our body cam policy. You know I cannot turn off this body
I
camera.
do, but I'd like to talk to you,
I can't do that, sir.
please.
The captain knows he's in trouble, and he's asking to have an off-the-record conversation with the sergeant who's investigating him. What he should do is shut up, stop taking tests, and stop giving Sergeant Skinner further evidence to incriminate himself. Can you guess what Captain French does?
Are you going to do the test or not, sir?
I will. I will do whatever you ask.
Okay, once we complete the test, I'll turn off my body cam.
Okay,
You want to try that again?
I will.
You may begin.
1, 2, 3, 4. Sir, please.
To Sergeant Skinner's credit, he resists the frequent requests for favoritism, and thanks to Captain French's terrible performance on the field sobriety test, he has given the sergeant all the evidence he needs to do this.
All right, go ahead and turn around for me. Put your hands behind your back.
Are you gonna arrest me, sir?
Yes, I am.
Can I talk to you? Can we turn the camera off now?
Yeah, we'll turn the camera off now.
Thank you.
It's interesting that Skinner does turn his body-worn camera off once he has arrested Captain French for DUI. In many jurisdictions that I'm familiar with in Virginia, the body-worn camera policies require the camera to continue staying on even during the transport, through the breath test process, etc. However, I checked the Oklahoma City Police Department body camera policy, and it specifically only requires the camera to be on during transport if there's some kind of combative thing going on or something out of the ordinary. So your ordinary transports in Oklahoma City probably are not captured on body camera. After the arrest, the police department acts pretty swiftly in Captain French's case.
Yes, as soon as we were notified of the incident, he was placed on administrative leave with pay. We do have a process that once criminal charges are filed, per our FOP contract, we do what's called a predetermination hearing to then put that person on leave without pay because, again, it's a criminal matter. So we can put them on leave without pay, but there's a process we have to go through to do that.
But for the ultimate end of this story, we'll have to wait and see. Captain French's case was set for a jury trial on September 26, but it got continued to a later date. Only time will tell if he gets convicted or if he gets to keep his job with the police department. If you're ever suspected of breaking the law like Captain French, don't follow his example and incriminate yourself. Don't talk to the police, even if you are the police. And to learn if the police can pull you over on private property like they did in Captain French's case, check out this video. I'll see you there.